What's up, guys? It's Justin Parnell back with another MTG Arena video. This time we're going to be doing some Pauper. We're going to be doing a quick constructed league. So if you want to see more content like this, more MTG Arena gameplay, go to youtube.com/thinktwicemtg. And if you'd like to listen to the Thinktwice podcast, search Thinktwice MTG on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, and Stitcher. If you are interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. All right, so today we're going to be playing Pauper, like we said, and we're going to be playing an Artificers deck. Pauper, of course, is a format in all of Magic where you can only use commons. So I burned through some of my extra common wild cards, put this deck together, which has been pretty successful. I've actually enjoyed playing Pauper. I've played a few decks. This is the one that I've had the most fun with, and it's pretty straightforward. There's only 10 actual different cards in the deck. We have 20 creatures, 4 Gearsmith Prodigy, 4 Aether Sweeper, 4 Aviation Pioneer, 4 Scholar of Stars, and 4 Bastion Inventor. All of these are Artificers hitting on each different part of the curve at 1, 2, 3, 4, and never 6. It's usually something lower than that. We have some cheap interaction with Blink of an Eye and Negate. We have 4 Renegade Map, 4 Inventor's Goggles, which is really important with our Artificers, and then 4 Cartouche of Knowledge, which allows us to get in some quick damage, give all of our creatures flying, because none of them do, except for Aether Swooper and the Thopter that the Aviation Pioneer makes, and it's especially good on Bastion Inventor, and this draws us a card too. So this deck is pretty straightforward. 20 creatures, 20 non-creatures, 20 lands, very consistent, and surprisingly resilient with what people are playing. So we're going to hop into a league, and we'll be back in just a moment with game 1. All right, game 1 with Mono Blue Artificers, Artificers in Pauper. This hand is fine. We don't have a 1 or a 2-drop creature, but we do have a Renegade Map, Aviation Pioneer, so we're going to be able to curve into this pretty nicely. We also have a Negate to make sure that our opponents don't do anything screwy with us, and then a Cartouche of Knowledge to keep us going. So this hand's a keep. So usually a woodland stream here is going to indicate Merfolk of some kind. Or I did play against a very interesting make my creatures unblockable deck, playing some creatures that can't be blocked, Slitherblade, the Mist Herald, and like Oakenform and things that just pump their creatures. That was interesting. We're gonna wait to our draw step to pop this Renegade Map as our opponent plays some mana creatures out. We don't mind drawing 1 more land. Getting to 4 is pretty nice. That's kind of where our curve stops. We don't really need more than 4. Occasionally we want to get to 5 if we really have a lot of reactive stuff. And this is fine. If we need to bounce this at any point, we totally can. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get our Aviation Pioneer out with our 3rd island. And if we draw another land, we'll play Aether Swooper. If we don't, we'll obviously play the 2nd Pioneer. We can take some hits for a second. Not that big of a deal. We can make a decent amount of chumpers, especially with the Swooper. Can make a servo that can block this. We have Blink of an Eye in our hand in case I try to put Oakenform or anything crazy like that on it. So it looks like we might just be playing against a blue-green ramp deck. We're going to take this 3 here from the Centaur Courser. Not quite sure. Either way, we're going to play the 2nd Pioneer. We're going to attack with just our Thopter, since we're not interested in blocking with that. And if they're interested in attacking with the Wild Wanderer, I'm happy to double block with my 2 Pioneers. All right, so just a gigantic creature. Not a big deal. I'll happily take this this double block and essentially trading one of my Pioneers for their Wanderer. If they ultimately want to do that, looks like they're still thinking about it. Okay, they don't want to do it. Probably smart. We're gonna... I don't want to lose a whole Pioneer for the Courser, so I'm just gonna non-block. We can do that at any point, really. Okay, so we are a little short on lands. So we're going to try to draw a card with a cartouche. There's a Renegade map, which is good. So we are going to chump with one of our Thopters here. So I'm just going to attack with one Thopter. Looks like our opponent's just in the market of playing gigantic creatures. Which will be fine if we can get a Bastion Inventor out. That way we can get a 4/4 hexproof. That's not good. So now we're going to take 6 because we're going to chump this Core Prowler. And of course, these creatures are gigantic. They're approximately huge. We're gonna play this Ether Swooper. Though this first game is not looking good. And we're probably gonna have to blink of an eye his largest creature. Double block here. It's not looking great. We basically have to draw. I don't know what we can draw. We stumbled on mana a little bit, which has hurt us. Well, fortunately, they're not attacking with their Landwar Elves and Druid of the Cow because they could just get in free damage, which actually would kill us. Or at least get us to a point where we're in bad shape. And we're still going to at least try to make good blocks. We'll block here, let our opponent order blockers. We're going to blink of an eye the Core Prowler back to their hand. Unfortunately, not with Kicker. Our Aether Trooper will go down, most likely. Yep. But they can play the 6/6 back out. We're going to do this now. You think we do? Okay. All right, there's Inventor's Goggles, but it's going to be too little too late, unfortunately. We can make a 4/4, but that's not going to be nearly big enough. And there's a Bastion Inventor. We're a lot closer to getting parity in this game than it looks like. But now we're just dead. No blocks will save us. All right, game 2. Pauper with mono blue Artificers. This hand is a little loose. We do have... if we can draw a land within 2 turns, we'll be in good shape. Otherwise, we won't. But I want to risk it because these 2 cards can be very explosive together, especially with the cartouche. Killing creatures can be difficult in this format, so we'll keep it. That doesn't mean I'm going to play the Inventor's Goggles first, which is fine. It'll make for a 3/4 on our second turn. The reason we have to do this is because if we play the Prodigy, then the Goggles, they won't equip on their own. Okay. Well, this is good. Even if we don't draw a land, we do have play next turn. And we can freely attack through this Vampire Neonate. This is kind of like a control card in this format. They basically, you control the game, and then you just drain your opponents with these. Hopefully we will be too quick for such things, but probably going to see a block here with this Doom Dissenter. Most likely, yep. Which is fine. We'll move this over. Our creature doesn't die. It only goes down to 1 toughness, so we're still in good shape. At any point we draw another land for this cartouche, we'll be off to the races. We can give the non-gearsmithed, the non-goggled gearsmith +1/+1 in flying. Perfect. We're going to go here. That way we can just, now we can continue to freely attack with all of our creatures. The unconditional removal spells are expensive. They all cost essentially 4 mana in this format. So if our opponent wants to kill one of our creatures, they have to spend their entire turn doing it. And I'd love for them to not attack with this 2/2 or any of their creatures thinking that they're going to block. And then I could just cartouche my other Prodigy up. All right, let's see what they're going to... I don't know what they're going to do. Presumably make a block. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Don't really understand that. Either way, we're going to make the same play. Both of our creatures flying and put our opponents on a exactly 2-turn, I guess a 3-turn clock realistically. We'll play this other land too. It's only an additional clock just because they have the Neonate, unless they tap out. Or at least tap 4 mana. Okay, they tapped off 5. Would have liked to have had that negate up, but what are you gonna do? Okay. We're not gonna hold up negate, we're just gonna keep playing creatures out. This will get us, and we will put this on since they killed our other one. This will get us another artifact. So we're actually only 1 artifact or land off of Bastion Inventor, which is just a monster of a creature. Okay. Well, they are spending their turn to get us, but they are not going to be able to do such things to Bastion Inventor. It's going to be a 5/6. No attacks here. Okay, so now we essentially just beat them down. We just abyss them. If they try to block and like pump their guys, then we can blink of an eye, and this one will be... We might be grinding a little bit, but this is almost impossible for them to deal with. Unless they have a hexproof creature of their own and they can make it bigger. I'll just block here. I don't know why they're just sacrificing their zombie. Anyway, we're gonna go attacking with our large creatures. I don't know. Maybe they thought this was tapped because the Inventor's Goggles were tapped. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. And now we're just gonna hold up these blink of an eyes and negates. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. So, if they try to activate the Neonate, do I want to bounce anything in a turn? They'll gain life. They'll have to block here. I can bounce both their creatures attacking for 7, which will put them to 2. Because essentially they would have to... I imagine they're going to tap this in response. Yeah, I'm going to block... I'm going to bounce the 4/4 here. Which I'm assume will get a response out of the Neonate. Nope. Okay. Sounds good to me. Now I'm just going to attack with all of my creatures. I'm sure we'll get a block on the 1/2, but you never know. I don't think my opponent is in the market for attacking here. +2 whenever it dies. So you're just going to kill this? Yeah, that's fine. I don't even want to negate that. I'd rather just play this other one and then have blink of an eye, blink of an eye. I don't want to move the goggles though. I'd rather just keep them on my gigantic creature. So if they tap out to play their 5-drop again, we can just bounce both of their creatures and then attack them. So this would put them at 10, 11. No, I'll negate that. This way we can still kill them even if they gain a life. They can't really play anything or... I guess they can play. They could play a blocker if they have one. Okay, they just have another Sovereign Spite. All right. Well, in that case, I'm just going to keep attacking them until they die. They're not really getting anywhere. Yep. And we're going to play another Aviation Pioneer. Thopters are great. This card is actually very good. This is kind of the glue card that holds everything together. It's an Artificer and makes a 1/1 flyer for 3 mana. It offers a lot for this deck. All right, we're just gonna bounce the Shadow Knight in a turn and then attack our opponent. And I imagine that will be that. Okay. No need to cast anything else. Sweet victory. All right, game 3 with our Pauper Quick Constructed League. This hand's pretty solid. We have a nice curve. We have lands. No reason to ship this back. We don't have any artifacts. We can make one with the Swooper though. We're on the play too, which is nice. Even though this is only going to be a 1/2, that generally attacks past our opponent's other 1-drops. There's a couple of other 1/2s that people play. That is one that can trade with our creature. If that were the case, I guess we probably want to offer the trade. We don't really have a way past this. That's kind of just going to happen at some point, so we'll allow them to block here, which I imagine they're going to take us up on. And play Swooper, make a Servo next turn, play Gearsmith Prodigy, and then hold up Blink of an Eye and negate. Excellent. Now, we're just going to play both of these. We're going to take this action, make this Servo. Now we have our own little army. Opponent has a lot of cards in hand, though. That's notable. If we can hunt another land, start casting Blink of an Eye. Ooh, blue-black, okay. Our opponents looks like they're a little hamstrung on lands, though. Yep. 6 damage is a lot. If we could get one more, if we draw a creature next turn, we can cut a turn off of our opponent's life. Hopefully any blockers they have are inefficient. Alright, we're going to negate the Moment of Craving. We have 2 negates, and that actually gains them a lot of life. Cartouche is a good draw, but we can cast this next turn to give our extra +1. And essentially just... This ensures that we're going to win the game next turn. If they play a non-creature, we'll negate it. If they play a creature, we'll bounce it. And then on our turn, we'll play Cartouche. Omen Speaker is totally fine. Now, they could have another Moment of Craving, which would be unfortunate. Though I imagine if we go Blink of an Eye, they'll probably do it in response, which will get them another turn, but I don't know, let's see. Maybe they'll do something on their turn, which would be great. I would love for them to just tap out. We are just going to Blink of an Eye this during our opponent's end step. They have a Moment of Craving, they get to kill a Gearsmith Prodigy, which I go to 9. Then we're going to be able to attack them for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put them to 4. Nope. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, we'll go ahead and finish them off here. 7 it is. All right. Game 4. MTG Arena Pauper. Quick Constructed League. Solid hand. We only have 1 threat, but we do have Blink of an Eye and essentially 4 lands. So we're going to keep it. Blink of an Eye is just very good. Obviously. Into the Royal was really good. blink of an eye is equally as good. Just a strong card. Okay, there's a second threat, which we won't be able to play early necessarily, but if we don't draw a land, we can just easily go get one. Okay, we did draw a land. So we're going to leave this Renegade map around. Reason for that is if we happen to draw a Bastion Inventor next turn, we get to play that for 4 mana rather than our Scholar of Stars. We did not, so we're just going to play the Scholar, which we're going to go ahead and do. More lands, no problem. Our opponent didn't play a land last turn, which I would imagine they're going to attack so they can get us to block. Okay, well, I'm not going to block. I have no interest in doing that. If they don't play another land or another creature, I'm definitely going to start blink of an eyeing their blockers, which they did not, so that's what we're going to do. Actually, now I'm just going to give my creatures flying and start going to town. Okay, cycling a 7-drop. Negate a solid draw 2. The green removal is usually like the Prey Upon, Rabid Bite type effects. So we have our opponent on a pretty quick clock. Imagine they're going to put that in their graveyard. Okay, so if I bounce their Wayfinder, I can attack them for 6. Doesn't increase our clock, so I will simply not do that. And we drew our favorite, and then we'll go ahead and tap 4 plus our artifacts, and then pass. So now, if we can, I mean, we kind of still have our opponent on the same clock. We're at 16. We're in no threat of really getting beaten down here at all. Our opponent really wants to draw a card. We can't bounce all of their creatures. If they attacked with both, that would be great because then I could go bounce, bounce, and attack. But since they didn't, I'm still not going to block. I don't want them to. I don't want them to draw cards. I think I'm just going to untap and blink of an eye with Kicker on my turn. On their Prowler. They can block with one of their large creatures, and if they try to double block, then we can just blink of an eye again. Not with Kicker. And we don't want them to ramp again. I would rather them have the Wayfinder back in their hand, so. And we'll go ahead and pass the turn. It's going to be difficult. Okay. Our opponent's going to gain a little bit of life. Go to 6. Let's see. Should have played the Swooper first, and I could attack and make another servo. But I did not. We're just going to attack with all of them. If they want to block our 1/1 and take 5 and go to 1, then that's totally fine. Okay, now we're holding up our negates, what we should have done last time. I got greedy. Had the Bastion Inventor, thought we were in the driver's seat. Okay. So they're going to go to 5. Death Touch creature. Okay, well that's good. We have a bunch of negates. Of course. So we're brick-walled for the moment. Eventually we will find something to give our Bastion Inventor flying, or give our Ether Swooper a bonus via our Artificer's Goggles, but for now, because we got overly aggressive, we're going to take more time to close this game out, which I still feel pretty confident we're going to be able to do, but we did use 2 Blink of an Eyes. We still have 2 Blink of an Eyes in our cartouche. 3 cartouches, so. And a whole bunch of lands. Still no attacks. Fortunately, our opponent can't attack either. And they can't Lich's Caress. successfully anyway. They can certainly cast it, but it will not resolve. That's more because we don't want them to gain life, surprisingly enough. Okay, still going to be having a stare down here. Another Renegade map. All right. No attacks. Oakenform. That will get very annoying just because it'll make it 4/6, which we cannot really profitably block. So we'll go ahead and negate that. Infectus Host is fine. They still don't have good attacks. Not good enough to be able to kill us, so... Okay. There's interesting attacks here. So we can take... This can only kill one of our creatures if we triple block. And we take one. I'll take that trade-off. Gets to kill one of our swoopers, but that's okay. Hey, there's a cartouche. We can start attacking. We draw a card. Get another swooper. Okay. So now our opponent is just being clocked entirely. They're going to have to start getting more aggressive just due to running out of time. Play a Wayfinder. Let's see what they come up with. Colossal Dreadmaw. Dreadmaw is very good. I bet they're going to keep that one on top. Yeah. That one is a little trouble for us just due to the fact that it has trample. It's going to be close. It's going to depend heavily on our next draw step. So, ooh, they're targeting themselves. Okay, I'm going to, since they're going to 4. Okay, yeah, they're trying to get aggressive. Okay, so if we attack them, they have to block this, then this. They take 2. So there's not a singular draw. We can get the kill unless we go cartouche into something else. That would kill them. I think we're going to just block here and then block on their host. We're not worried about the Basilisk. And this is, we're only making these blocks because they have the Dreadmaw. We're going to go ahead and pop both of these just to thin our deck the slightest bit. Okay, and of course, we draw another island. Okay, still have blocks for this turn. Another host. All right, I think it looks like we are going to defeat our opponent here. Narrowly, but nonetheless. We'll go to 3. Another Bastion Inventor. And we'll attack for the win. Whew, that was a close one. Game 5 back with Pauper. Quick constructed event. This hand is not good. 5 lands is too many. This is like what we want at the end of the game, so we are going to mulligan this. We want in the 2 to 3 land range in our opening hand, like this hand. This one is significantly better. And we get a scry, and we'll actually keep this land on top. Really just because we know we have the Bastion Inventor. So we need, like I said, we want to get about 3 to 4 lands. We don't have a way to draw cards in this hand, but that's okay. We're going to try to be less greedy this time. We're going to make sure we play our Ether Swoopers in the right order, too, which will, I believe, will probably help us. Our opponent's going to block, but that's okay. Maybe they won't. You got to make them do it. Okay, so a land. We'll let us play Bastion Inventor, and then we can play the next one the next turn, and we'll be in very good shape. Merfolk. These are both Merfolk. They don't want it, though. All right. Well, Inventor's Goggles is just fine, actually. So we can put this on our Swooper. We can make this a 3/4, which would trade with one of their creatures or kill one of their creatures in combat. I think I'd rather do that. If they want to trade one of their guys for my Gearsmith Prodigy, then that's fine. I'll take care of their Wayfinder here. Since we're gonna be suiting up this Bastion Inventor with the goggles anyway. Okay, we're gonna tap all of our artifacts here, and then we're just gonna attack for 1 in the air. So green-blue is a combination that can pump their creatures. So if our opponent attacks, I'm not gonna be super interested in blocking. They didn't, and they are starting to run out of cards. So Blink of an Eye would be great right now. That way we could attack Okay. Okay, well now they can't pump, so now I am going to block and just eat their 4/4, which is excellent. All right, they did not like that, that they made that attack, and we're going to move on. All right, back with the final game 6 in our Pauper Quick Constructed League. We're on the draw, which is actually fine. I like this hand quite a bit. We have turn 1, turn 2. We have our cartouche to go with our Bastion Inventor and Negate to back everything up. All we need is a couple of lands, and we're in great shape. Explosive Apparatus, no problem. All right. This is a excellent start. Maybe the best card we could have drawn. This will protect our Swooper, and we can really start to get in. Making our Swooper a 2/4 flyer is pretty good. Now, our opponent gonna have an Essence Scatter, which would be fine. I would like this to resolve. Okay, looks like it's going to. I would also like to attack with it. Maybe that's asking too much, but it's card on top, so they must like what they see. Big Toughness is pretty important in Pauper. Usually, like I said, the unconditional kill spells are expensive. They're like 4 and 5. So you're talking about your Moment of Cravings and your Explosive Apparatuses and the like, which do small amounts of damage, or toughness shrinking. So we'll attack for 2. We're going to play this Gearsmith Prodigy. If they want to kill it with their apparatus, then that's whatever, that's fine. As long as I can cast this cartouche on something that doesn't die. It doesn't have to be this Bastion Inventor. Blue-black creatures are not as big, so that's not as much of a concern. But I'm not going to move the goggles. I think they're going to kill it before I have a chance to anyway, but I want to keep it on my flying creature regardless. Okay. So yeah, a small kill. -2, -2. Let's grind to the bottom this time. Okay, I imagine the first one was a land. We still do need a couple of lands. Like, we really want to get to 4, but 3 is a good start, especially when our opponent is shy on them. Since there's blue, we do have to worry about Essence Scatter for this Bastion Inventor. I'll lead with the Scholar of Stars first. I think it's a pretty good chance that our creatures are going to get countered, especially when our opponent is kind of spinning their wheels. I'm going to blow up our Servo, which is good. That essentially sets us back a land. We could draw here, but then we would leave ourselves, if we didn't draw a land, we already played a land this turn, so that wouldn't actually help us. We won't hold up this Negate. I really don't want this Swooper to die. This probably has the potential to go quite a ways. Excellent. So land 4, and we're just gonna start playing out these Scholars, which will draw a card due to the Inventor's Goggles. So I imagine this is gonna get Essence Scattered or canceled or syncopated, something of the sort. It did not. Okay. So our opponent just has removal spells. That is good to know. That means this Bastion Inventor is going to do some work once it resolves. Yeah, so our opponent is mono removal hand. Okay. Bastion Inventor's coming down next turn. Really, when our opponent taps low on their blue mana is when we're going to try to resolve it. Which will hopefully be, I mean, they have to put something on the board at some point. So we're just going to keep attacking and keep playing our Scholar of Stars. We'll play Renegade Map and Scholar this turn. Play Scholar first. If it resolves and I have a chance to move the goggles, I'll just do it. Okay, there's a cancel. That's what I thought. Okay, so if we get one more land, okay, Opt is good. Our opponent's still looking for lands. Then we can counter back on this Negate. Yeah, they're digging. Still digging. At this point, they're really only on Essence Scatter. Okay, so we only have 7, and we need 8 for the Negate as well. So we're just gonna keep on. We're gonna keep on bashing with this Swooper. I'm just gonna go the distance. We may get to the point where we only even have to hit our opponent one time with the Bastion Inventor plus the Cartouche. We are not going to move it. I would rather keep it on my flying creature in case we get to a point where we still can't cast the Inventor. No, I'm craving. That's fine. As long as they're not killing our artifacts, that is what we actually care about. So even if they kill this Thopter, we're in fine shape. Because we can now play this for 4. and we will, in fact, move it. And that's it. Completing the reverse sweep. We got our face bashed in for mono green in round 1, and then within the next 5, Bastion Inventor, Hexproof, Super Fair Mechanic, glad it exists. Let's see what we get. Nothing good. Excellent. Okay. The league before this one, before I recorded to test the deck out, I went 5-0, got 2 Planeswalkers, and then we get 2 Dinosaurs. But, you know, that's fine. We did it. We did it all. Pauper, Mono Blue, Artificers. It's a fun deck. You should give it a shot. Obviously, Pauper's only common, so if you have a bunch of wild cards hanging around, or probably just have most of the cards, I would definitely recommend it. But thank you guys very much for watching. Again, if you want more content like this, check out youtube.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. If you want to listen to the Thinktwice podcast, search Thinktwice on Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play Music. And if you would like to support the show, go to patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. That is all for today. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.